Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Call this meeting to order at 5:33. Dr. Esparza, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes, please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Yes, sir. President Joey Acuña Jr., Vice President Jocelyn Vargas, Clerk Silvia Paz,
Here.
Trinidad Arredondo,
Present.
Valerie Garcia,
Present.
Jesus Gonzalez.
Right here.
Thank you.
So first, we're going to go into the student trustee candidates, the presentation. So we're going to go by school, I believe. So we will go ahead and start with Coachella Valley High School.
This evening, I have the privilege of welcoming our CVUSD high school principals as they introduce to us our students who are interested in being considered to serve as student trustees for the 2024-25 school year. Starting, we will have Dr. Williams for Coachella Valley High School.
Good evening. I am Dr. Michael Williams, principal at Coachella Valley High School, and I'd like to bring our first student trustee candidate up to the microphone, Ms. Allison Lopez.
Good evening, school board trustees and honorable cabinet. My name is Allison Lopez, a senior and a student trustee candidate from Coachella Valley High School. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to be able to be considered for the student trustee position. So thank you. If I could describe myself in a few simple words, I would most likely say a well-rounded person with a positive personality and someone who loves the color pink. During my high school experience, I participated in 12 different extracurriculars while maintaining an overall GPA of 4.1. This gives me a broad perspective and understanding of the students' needs and issues. My goals and ambitions are what makes me differ from other students. These goals and ambitions are community awareness, equality, and engagement. As the president of the CTE Health Academy and HOSA chapter, which is Future Health Occupations, we are dedicated to making sure that everyone in our community, regardless of their financial situation, has access to good quality healthcare. Because of my involvement in Health Academy and HOSA, I've completed over 300 hours of community service and have been traveling to organizations stationed in West Shore, El Centro, Calexico, Blythe, Salton Sea, and especially here in our valley. What brought up this ambition of mine was my personal financial situation, which gave me a greater understanding of people without health insurance. For our most impactful event, we have Flying Doctors, which has brought up my personal interest in dental care. I want to become a dentist in the near future and attend schools like UCLA, Western University, Loma Linda, and many more. Seeing the impact that volunteers have on our community motivates me to come back and give back as well. Even with all my extracurriculars, I always make sure to prioritize my academics. Including this year, I've taken a total of 5 AP courses, 3 honors, 1 dual enrollment, while still maintaining my 4.1 GPA. This experience has made me see the struggle that students go through to maintain those perfect grades and the effect they can have on their mental health. I became a member of the Mental Health Pathway, the Mind Matters Club, and even founded my own club, the Agape Club. We promote mental health awareness by inviting students to participate in meetings where they can interact and form friendships. We also provide QR codes around campus for mental health resources that are available to them. As someone who loves to have her voice heard, I joined the Students Ambassadors program at my school. We meet once a month and talk about issues affecting students, and those issues we bring them up to the school board or even campus safety and come up with solutions. With all of this being said, I would love and hope to be able to use my leadership skills, my experience, and my ambitions in order to improve students' lives all throughout the district. Thank you.
Jels, before you leave, is there any board members who have any questions? This is partly an interview as well, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Any questions? Nope. Seeing none? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next candidate from the great Coachella Valley High School is Lynette Bautista.
Good evening, Executive Board and Trustees. My name is Lynette Bautista, and I am honored to stand before you today as a candidate for the position of Student Trustee. As many of you know, I have had the privilege of serving this role over the past year, and I'm excited about the opportunity to continue making a positive impact in our school student body. Growing up with a troubled background, I have always viewed school as my sanctuary, a place where I could feel safe, supported, and encouraged to pursue my dreams. This personal experience has fueled my passion for ensuring that our school remains a welcoming, nurturing environment for all students regardless of their backgrounds. I am deeply committed to bringing meaningful change that benefits not only our current student body, but also future generations. With the support of many dedicated staff and fellow students, I believe we can create a school environment that fosters growth, inclusivity, and excellence. Having already served as a student trustee, I bring valuable experience and deep understanding of the responsibilities and challenges that come with this position. The position of student trustee isn't for the title at all. I want this position because I am out there getting feedback from students. I'm out there and I put myself out there to make sure I'm giving you guys everything you need to hear from students to close the gap between staff and students. I know how to get students to support and agree with stuff that staff may not be able to project onto students. I'm ready to hit the ground running and continue the important work we have already started last year. My vision for our school includes fixing communication with the staff and student body, improving the viewpoint on what people see when they think of CV, and ensuring that positive change is happening. And I am confident that with your support, we can make these goals a reality. Together, we can build a stronger, more united school community where every student feels valued and empowered to succeed. Thank you for your time, and I humbly ask for your vote to continue serving as your student trustee. Let's work together and make our school the best it can be for everyone. Thank you.
Again, anyone have any questions? No? I think they've already studied up, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Desert Mirage High School.
Our principal, Ms. Sotelo, will be presenting her candidates.
Good evening, board and executive board and community. I'm Elizabeth Sotelo, proud principal at Desert Mirage High School. And with me today, I have two of really good students with me, both of them are Puentistas. We have a junior with us and a senior. We're gonna start with our senior, Ariana Hill.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, board members. I'm Ariana Hill, a senior at Desert Mirage High School. As a candidate for student trustee, I believe I can bring a unique and diverse perspective to this role. Throughout my high school career, I've been actively involved in various aspects of student life. As the president of Medio Ambiente, a social justice club, and the vice president of the Puente Club, I've had the opportunity to engage with students who are passionate about making a difference in our community. My involvement in Friday Night Live, the youth advocacy program, and Coachella Unincorporated has further broadened my understanding of the diverse need and concerns of our student body. My background in social justice has instilled in me a deep passion for working with and for helping people. Through my involvement in Medio Ambiente and other community-oriented programs, I've learned the importance of listening to diverse perspectives, advocating for underrepresented voices, and working collaboratively to create positive change. The experience has taught me to approach issues with empathy, critical thinking, and the commitment to equity. I believe these skills are essential for the student trustee, as they will enable me to effectively represent all students, especially those whose voices might otherwise go unheard. My dedication to social justice will drive me to ensure that every decision made by the board considers the impact of all students, regardless of their background or circumstances. While I'm proud to be an AP/honor student with plans to pursue electrical engineering in college, I firmly believe that all students deserve to be heard, regardless of their academic standing. My experience as a varsity tennis player has taught me the value of teamwork and fair representation, skills I intend to bring to this position. I've observed that many students are unaware of the board's role and its impact on their educational experience. As student trustee, I would strive to bridge this gap, ensuring that the board's decisions reflect the needs and aspirations of all students. I'm committed to actively seeking out and amplifying the voices of students from all backgrounds and academic levels. My diverse involvement in my school's activities have given me the comprehensive understanding of our student body's concerns. I believe this insight, combined with my leadership experiences and commitment to inclusivity, makes me well-suited to represent all our students effectively on the board. I would be absolutely honored to have this position and work with you all. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Once again, anybody have any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next student is Eric Huerta, one of our juniors, Puentista, and migrant student as well.
Good afternoon, esteemed members of the District Board. My name is Eric Huerta, and I am honored to be here today as a finalist for Student Board Trustee position. I am currently a junior at Desert High School, proud to be currently ranked one of my class of 2026. Today, I want to share my vision for our students and express why I'm passionate about serving their voice. When I was 11, I moved to the United States, facing challenges of learning a new language and adjusting to a new culture. This journey was both exciting and difficult. I vividly remember moments where I felt lost and unsure of where I belonged. It was during this time that I discovered my strength and resilience. I learned that asking for help is a sign of courage, not weakness. This understanding drives me to ensure that every student feels supported, valued, and understood, no matter their background. I want to create an environment where every student can thrive and feel confident about their dreams. I aspire to be a student trustee not just for myself, but for every student who feels overlooked. If chosen, I'll be the first male representative from Desert Mirage High School, and I take that responsibility seriously. It will be an honor to pave the way for future leaders in our schools. Every student deserves to have their voice heard in decisions that impact their education. I believe that it's essential for our board to reflect on the diversity of our student body. I am committed to ensuring that all perspectives, especially those of underrepresented students, are included in our discussions. In my role as ASB Class of 2026 President, I have worked diligently to connect with my classmates, listen to their concerns, and advocate for their needs. I believe that every student has a story to tell, and it is my job to make sure those stories are shared. My experience in speech and debate state competitions have sharpened my communication skills and taught me the importance of listening to different viewpoints. Throughout these roles, I have learned to engage with diverse groups and build conscience. I know how to bring people together and find common ground, and I want to use those skills to benefit our entire student community. As your student trustee, I envision a school where every student is encouraged to reach their full potential. Education is about more than just grades. It's about creating a sense of belonging. I want to promote programs that encourage mentorship and peer support, ensuring that every student knows they have someone to turn on to. Imagine a school where students feel safe and express their concerns, where mental health resources are easily accessible, and where every student individual is inspired to pursue their dreams. Together, we can build that supportive environment. I stand here today not just as a candidate, but as someone who deeply cares about the future of our schools and our students. I know how it feels like to struggle and want to fit in. My experiences have taught me the value of empathy and understanding, and I want to use those perspectives in my role as your student trustee. I want every student to feel that they're not alone in their journey. As the first male student trustee from Desert March High School, I hope to inspire others to recognize the power of their voices and the impact they can have in our district. I want to show that leadership is about service, connection, and standing out for one another. In closing, I want to thank you all for your support and for believing in me. Together, we can ensure that every student feels valued and empowered within our district. I am ready to be my peers' advocate, listen to their concerns, and fight for the resources that every student deserves. Thank you for considering me for this important role. It will be a true honor to serve you and help you shape a brighter future for all students in our district. Thank you.
That's okay. I don't think anybody's going to ask questions anymore. Thank you. Up next, West Shores High School.
Principal from West Shores High School, Ms. Mejorado.
Good evening. I am here in representation of, my name is Olivia Mejorado, principal of West Shores High School. I'm here in representation of our students. As you can see, I am missing one of our student trustee candidates, but I wanted to make sure that she was represented. She had a personal emergency that she needed to attend to. So I will be taking a couple of minutes to speak on her behalf, and then I will ask our other student to come to the speaker. Okay, so Larissa Gonzalez is an ASB student, AP student, cheerleader, basketball, and so much more on our campus. To quote her directly, I want to read what she wrote in her student application. And she said, I want to serve the Coachella Valley Unified School District because I believe I could make a big difference and a big impact at West Shores High School. I also believe that I could make West Shores something better than it already is. Being at West Shores for nearly all my high school years, I've seen the way it keeps improving each year. So I want to be part of those changes and to see my school grow. With this position, I would like to be the bridge between my peers and CVUSD, making sure that all the voices of Salton City are heard. So thank you so much. Now, I would like to introduce our student, avid student and junior at West Shores High School, Isabella Jimenez.
Good afternoon, board members. So there are many reasons why I want to serve on the Coachella Valley Unified School District Board of Education. I am a natural leader and have so much passion for public speaking and for advocating for my community. I have done so by being in my community for many years. I've been in West Shores for middle school and high school. I also have grown fond over my community and want to give back to it. I am very passionate over my community and I want to see it thrive. I want to represent my school and give voice to it. I want to serve for CVUSD Board of Education to give my school a fair representation from a student perspective. I plan on staying a part of Coachella Valley CVUSD, Coachella Valley Unified School District, and I want to work at a school. I want to become a speech pathologist, work at speech therapy. As a student, I have been faced with so many different obstacles and challenges, that be academically or emotionally. As I grow older, the amount of verbal and physical violence, drug use, and inappropriate language I have witnessed around school is appalling. As an older sister to an autistic preteen who's here in the audience today, it would be dreadful for her to grow and see everything that I have. So being part of CVUSD board would honestly give me a better opportunity than I have right now to make a change, so she doesn't have to see what I've seen in these years. I want to give Coachella Valley Unified School District my 110%. I work at CVU Elementary as cheer coach, and I have many experience talking to parents and little kids. I love it, honestly. The school is beautiful, staff is honestly admirable, and I've grown very fond of Coachella Valley Unified School District. My previous interests and experiences have uniquely prepared me for the role of student board trustee, equipping me with the skills to effectively seek and share student perspectives. My participation in AVID has significantly enhanced my problem solving and communication skills. AVID emphasizes critical thinking and collaboration, equipping me to approaching challenges with a solution-oriented mindset and facilitate discussion that includes all student perspectives. Additionally, working with younger kids after school has been invaluable. As a cheer coach at CVU Elementary ACES, I've learned to communicate effectively with both children and their parents about their needs and concerns. My interactions with teachers and administration have also provided insight into the educational landscape. I actively seek their input while sharing students' perspectives, fostering, collaborating, and ensuring that both students and adults feel heard. Throughout my high school years, I've been part of 5 APs, 3 honors, and I'm currently in 2 clubs, AP Pre-Calculus Club and AP Computer Science. I've been in AVID all throughout elementary, middle school, and high school, and maintain a 4.0 GPA. I've completed last year alone over 200 hours community service before CVU asked to hire me. It was honestly an opportunity that I couldn't deny because I loved the kids, and honestly, even if they didn't want to pay me, I still would be there right now. So being part of the board and even being considered is an honor, standing in front of all of you guys who have once and still are role models to me, because working for the educational program and watching kids grow up and, become something for themselves is honestly the reason that I go to school every day and wake up. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Any questions? No questions. You're good. Next up, and I'm actually very excited to see this one come up. I'm happy to have a voice, probably a long missed voice from one of our other high schools, La Familia High School.
Introducing our students from La Familia is our supporting admin, Mr. Semino.
Good evening, members of the board, executive cabinet, and community. My name is Eddie Semino. I'm our MTSS data coach coordinator for our district, representing La Familia. I'm proud to introduce these 2 students, seniors, student leaders on campus. First up, Ms. Roxanne Ojeda Medina.
Greetings to all CVUSD board members and education and audience. My name is Roxana Ojeda, and I am very honored to be here today. It's such a pleasure to be candidate student trustee representing La Familia High School. I am currently a senior, and I hope to be the selected student and having La Familia for the first time be part of the CVUSD school board. The first time I heard about applying for the role, I had no understanding whatsoever. I was asked to write about issues that students from pre-K through 12 were facing and struggling with. I knew this role meant having a perception and become a voice for every single one of my peers. Knowing that I could engage and participate in district governance, I knew I wanted to become part of this devotion. I am looking forward to be an advocate and make a difference for each individual. Each issue that my school is facing, I want them to know that there is someone that cares and will be there to speak up on behalf of them. Becoming a student trustee would not only mean I would become a representative of La Familia, but it would also mean the responsibilities and petitions to keep my school safe, considerate, and substantial. Having a seat on the school board will excel my understanding in leadership, communication, and compassion for the community. Although I had a lot of obstacles throughout my first 2 years, I got a second opportunity in La Familia, and I have maintained persistence. I want to be an example and role model for students that are struggling with mental health and are struggling academically. I entered La Familia with only 40 credits enrolled in my junior year. Now, thanks to everyone who pushed me to do better, I have maintained a 4.0 GPA. I am currently a student site council, and I'm in a CTA entrepreneurship class. I would like my story to be influenced and let students know that when circumstances make us fall, we get back up and never look behind. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think there's any questions. Thank you.
Any questions?
No.
Okay.
And next up, we have Russell Silva.
Good afternoon, board members. I would like to be a student trustee to make a change in not only our school, but our district as well. I would like to serve to eventually help the district solve concerns and come up with helpful solutions. I would also want to serve to express students' needs to the district board. Being able to represent is an exciting opportunity, and I know I will give my all to help our district and our students. I would like to help my community grow and thrive. I'm taking a college class. I'm enrolled in a college class, and I've noticed a few things. I messed up, but thank you. Thank you. Any
I don't think anybody have any questions? No? Okay. I think we're good. Thank you.
I'm
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. We did have a question.
I'm just kind of curious about that unfinished thought about enrolling in college, in a college class, and what you're seeing. So, I mean, you maybe don't have it prepared, but if you want to share with us, I would love to hear.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared, but one thing I did notice was, how do I say it? Not everyone was, I felt not everyone wanted to be included in the class. I don't know, yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank all the schools and the candidates that came up. We're going to take a 15-minute break, hopefully no longer than that. We're going to discuss, and then we'll come back, and then we'll vote, and then we'll swear in the new trustees. So we will be back. I'll adjourn for about 15 minutes. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting back to order. And first of all, I want to thank all the candidates that came out. Everyone was very impressive. It's always tough when you have to just pick. We had a little discussions here in the boardroom, so we want to thank all of you for being here. And then after we announce the ones we picked, Dr. Esparza is going to also talk about the other part of that for those, some of you who are not selected. One of the other things that we ask you to participate in, and she'll go ahead and explain that after we announce the people we selected. So we will start with West Shores High School. We'd like to welcome Isabella Jimenez Martinez as one of our trustees. Congratulations. Yeah, you want to come up and say something if you want? You're going to be a trustee. You can do that.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for the opportunity. It's honestly something that I'm never going to take for granted, and I would love to chat with you guys more afterwards or whenever you guys have time. But honestly, really, this is a great opportunity, and I think this will add on to my educational journey as well as my personal one. This is something that I've been looking forward to doing and meeting with you guys. And thank you guys so much. I'm very excited.
Thank you. From Desert Mirage High School, we'd like to welcome Eric Huerta to the board.
I just want to thank you guys for believing on me and for giving me this opportunity. I'd also like to congratulate Ariana Hill. She's an amazing student and she did really good. Thank you.
From La Familia High School, we'd like to welcome Roxana Ojeda Medina to our board.
Thank you very much. It's been an honor, and I'm very honored because I heard that La Familia is getting recognized for the very first time, and it's the first year. And I would also like to congratulate Russell because he also did a very good job, and thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Coachella Valley High School, we'd like to welcome back Lynette Bautista to the board.
I'd like to give a huge thank you, and I very much appreciate this so much, and I'm excited for the school year. And I want to congratulate Allison because she did an amazing job.
Thank you. Dr. Esparza, if you will now kind of talk about the other part.
So now that you are on the board as student board trustees, you'll be meeting with me and some of my staff on a monthly basis. We will also have a student advisory committee that's going to be made up of those who were not selected tonight, and other students as well who support on leadership roles at each of your school sites. So there'll be 2 different committees that will be meeting with myself, like I said, several people from the executive cabinet, so that you can continue to voice and have a voice in the district of what it is that you need at the district level as well as at the school level. Okay, thank you.
So now here's the good part. You guys get to come up and we get to swear you in. I just need one to read, right?
No, so raise the paper, and we'll put her hand up.
Oh, get one of those for you guys. One of the perks of being president, I get to do this. This is cool. All right. You guys will hold them.
Yeah, we can come closer.
Why don't you share that one?
And we'll share this one.
Can they hear us?
Okay.
And then they'll do your paperwork afterward. Oh, it's paperwork. Okay, here we go. Raise your right hand.
I, Lene Bautista,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will and faithfully discharge
and that I will and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties of
upon I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, board members.
Thank you.
And they're gonna get your paperwork in, and then we'll sit you. Oh, you want to take a I'm sorry, do we want to take a picture before you guys leave? Sorry. I'm sorry, I forgot. They were running to get their paperwork. All right, that was cool. Moving on, closed session. Public comments. Closed session is an opportunity for members of the public to address the governing board regarding any closed session items within the board's subject matter jurisdiction. Please complete a request to address the governing board form and hand it to the recording secretary. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes per person with a maximum of 20 minutes per each subject matter. We have one closed session item, item 4.8 and 4.9. Carissa Carrera, you have 6 minutes.
There we go. Good evening, Carissa Carrera for CVTA. I only am going to need 3 minutes. I put them together because they're kind of the same thing. Out of our 22 school sites, only 5 are fully staffed with administrators. There are currently 14 AP vacancies and 3 sites without a principal for whatever reason. CVTA leadership attended the recent LCAP Advisory Committee meeting on October 2nd, where it was shared that in Goal 1.4, highly qualified staff, the district has been unable to fill some assistant principal positions in elementary and secondary schools. However, I have heard from many people that Dr. Esparza is telling staff during her listening tour that they will not be filling the AP positions due to budgetary constraints. This is very interesting as it appears we are budgeting for APs and are trying to fill the vacancies, yet some sites have been told that there is no plan to fill those vacancies. Other sites have been told that the APs will be split between 2 sites. This plan would actually double the AP workload while cutting their effectiveness in half. APs fulfill an important role at each school site, and not having one will definitely contribute to instability within the schools and will reduce the support available to staff and students. We are supposed to have 3 tiers of support in our schools, but can we still have that if we have no APs or even half an AP and the principal's workload is essentially doubled? I am curious what we will hear at next week's budget committee meeting. The typical rhetoric is cuts need to be made and we should cut as far away from the students as possible. We haven't actually heard that from this superintendent though, and it is clear that the cuts are being made where they most affect the students. I already mentioned the lack of admin support at 17 of our school sites. Add to that a decreased amount of teaching staff resulting in classes filled beyond capacity and a historical number of combo classes at each elementary site. And don't forget site budgets seem to have been cut quite significantly as well. Where are your priorities? Is it with students and providing the best education and supports they deserve? Or is it cutting as much money as possible from our sites in order to continue hiring more and more district admin while increasing their salaries also to historical rates for CVUSD? You seem to have lost any transparency as well, considering these decisions are being made by one person, maybe several, behind closed doors with little to no communication to stakeholders, especially to the parents. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Seeing nothing else, I have a motion to go into closed session. Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Welcome back. We had a motion and a second to return into open session. The motion carried 6-0. 5.2, announce of action taken in closed session.
Good evening. The board took the following action in closed session. Approved expulsion case number 24/25-002 for stipulated expulsion. Motion made by Jesus Gonzalez, second by Trinidad Arredondo, and the motion carried unanimously. The board took the following action in closed session. Approved expulsion case number 24/25-004 for stipulated expulsion. Motion made by Jesus Gonzalez, second by Trinidad Arredondo, and the motion carried unanimously. Approved expulsion case number 24/25-006 for stipulated expulsion. Motion made by Jesus Gonzalez, second by Trinidad Arredondo. The motion carried unanimously. The board took action during closed session to appoint Marco Page as elementary principal at Oasis School, effective October 11th, 2024. The motion was made by Jesus Gonzalez, seconded by Trinidad Arredondo, and the motion carried unanimously. And the record should reflect that the Board of Education received a report from District Legal Counsel in the matter entitled CVUSD v. Coachella DS et al. Feedback and direction was provided by the board to legal counsel, but no final action was taken. This concludes my report.
Thank you. All right, moving on.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any changes, anything to it? You're good? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, public comment. Introductory comments and requests to address the board on items on the adopted agenda and items not on the adopted agenda will be considered from the audience at this time. Please complete a request to address the governing board form and hand it in to the recording secretary. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes per person with a maximum of 20 minutes to each subject matter. Additionally, the person making the request should state his or her name and the name of the organization or group represented. Please be advised that the board is not always at liberty to answer questions right away. State law prohibits the board from taking any action on items not listed on the agenda. And we have a few. Item 11.1, 16.1, 16.1, different subject matter. Carissa Carrera, CVTA, you have 9 minutes.
Good evening, Carissa Carrera with CVTA. So on item 11.1, the revised job description for the Director of Early Learners, the description on the board agenda says that this item has additional requirements that were added. And that has to be a mistake because the only wording added actually decreases the requirements needed for the director position. Following the recent practice of lowering the requirements for high-level positions, one apparently no longer needs an administrative credential for this director position. This leads us to believe that once again, perhaps job descriptions are being rewritten to accommodate certain candidates. It can't be that this position is hard to fill because Dr. Esparza reassigned the previous director to another position. You might want to note that elsewhere in the job description, it does still state that they need 3 years of experience as an elementary principal, which is really hard to do without an administrative credential. Item 16.1, that's the credential, the certificated report. So this one is about number 8, the letters training. And I do have a question about this item because as far as I know, the letters training takes place during the teacher workday. If that's the case, why are they being paid additionally for that? I have heard, though, that teachers can choose to do additional work outside of the trainings that take place in the district, but then it wouldn't be district PD, which it states they're being paid for district PD. I would like to see a more detailed description on this item. My concern is this, that I've heard that teachers are being told that they can use this training for salary advancement, which is not the case if the district is paying for the training. And it would be helpful to get this cleared up so that the teachers know that if they really can qualify for salary advancement while also getting paid to attend the training. And finally, the same item, number 16, but this one refers to the numbers 16 through 18 of independent studies. Once again, these extra service positions have been filled without any notice being sent out that they were available. Article 1611 in the collective bargaining agreement states the district shall advertise all extracurricular assignments prior to filling them. It's not an option to just fill the positions with people who have done the job the year before. This article was agreed upon between CVTA and the district for the purpose of making all of these job opportunities available to all certificated staff. This is a job that pays an extra $13,000, and it needs to be handled correctly prior to you approving this item because a grievance will need to be filed and will reverse that vote anyhow. Thank you.
Ready? Moving on. Communications, members, if you got anything written, board member reports. We'll start with board member.
Okay, I'd like to thank all of the students again who came up and spoke so beautifully with us. Everyone was so poised and spoke so well. It was so nice to see. Again, I applaud these students. I've never thought to even work with a board until I was in college myself, so this is excellent to see our students take this initiative. So glad to see new faces and so happy to see Lynette. She's been a leader since sophomore year when we met her, so so excited to work with these new students. And welcome back, Lynette. I was able to talk with some teachers out in Toro Canyon. There are some continued concerns with safety there. I heard that as far as teachers who are not new to the district but new to that site, there have been concerns about where to find a safety plan. unsure where to find it. I'm told that administrators directed them to a handbook and they didn't know where to find the handbook even. So that's concerning for me. These are things that are required by the state. I also heard concerns about not having a set place for IEP meetings, which is concerning for all the stakeholders that have to be at those meetings. It's already a time constraint. So if they don't have a set location, that's taking from everyone's time. That's not helping our students at all. So please look into that, Dr. Esparza. I also discussed with Dr. Esparza about having a virtual option for all of the committee meetings. I was used to that in the past and was able to attend all of the many committee meetings that we have and that we got assigned to. I haven't seen that, but I'm told that it is possible for virtual options, and I would like to see that back again because it would help me attend them, but I'm sure it helps stakeholders as well. With that, I conclude my report. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for everybody that's here. Thank you for everybody that's watching. I'm a little under the weather today, so I won't be staying through the whole meeting. But I want to congratulate Coachella Valley High School on their win for the Date Bowl against Desert Mirage. And I want to congratulate just Desert Mirage for, I mean, the coach is really inspiring there to have his kids play and continue to build a program there in Desert Mirage. So congratulations to both high schools. I also know that yesterday there was a college and career fair at, was it Agua Caliente Casino? And so thank you for everybody who put that together, as it's important for our students to have access to higher education. And when we do that, our students will have access to that much more information. I just have one request. I know that we do second chance breakfast, Dr. Esparza, and I just want to report on see how that's going for our schools, and then an update on the playgrounds, the renovations. Thank you. That concludes my report.
I have no report, Mr. Cunha.
No, welcome. Nothing to report.
My only report, I did get the opportunity to attend the Coachella Valley Regional College Fair yesterday, and it was really great to see, like was shared earlier, just the number of students, and just want to thank staff for the collaborative effort to put this together. And, you know, I think I got there when buses were picking up some students, so it was really great to see, you know, everyone there supporting our students to get access to great information. So thank you.
I too want to thank all the students and the schools that participated in the interviews, and I think there's some quality students. You got to pick one or the other. So, but I think they look like a good group. One of the things we did kind of discuss, and we will for later, is possibly doing this at the end of the school year. That way, we don't miss 8 meetings, 6 meetings by the time they get on board. So possibly processing that at the end of the school year, so when the board meetings do start, they're ready to go. So just a suggestion that we might be able to do that. I also attended the college fair. It was really, really good. Saw a lot of friends there. That was kind of nice. And then a lot of the students, our students that were there as well. A lot of the staff and everybody. It's a big effort. And thank you everyone who participates in that. From our transportation to our teachers to our, everybody was there supporting our kids. The cool thing was that a lot of the people who were presenting from the colleges, there was a few of them from our school district that were now over there doing the same recruiting. So I thought that was kind of cool as well. Some people that went to our school districts affiliated with our district. So I thought that was really also cool. Also, I got an opportunity to go to a classroom visit at CV High School, accompanied by Dr. Gomez and Dr. Esparza. I guess there was a request from a cybersecurity class to come in and speak with them. I guess they had gotten on some kind of an assignment to talk about things. But interestingly enough, when we got there, they talked about all kinds of different things. From, lunches to classes to counselors to lack of, materials, and they kind of went the whole gamut, and it was kind of interesting. But the one thing I did notice, and I talked to them, I asked them what their thoughts was all of it seemed to revolve around communication, and that they don't have, or there's not enough communication with what's going on either at the school side or obviously with the district in that as well. I asked some of them if they knew how to access the wellness center and some of the services that we have. About half of them said yes, half of them said, well, I kind of, but not really. Some of them asked certain things with safety. They're like, well, are we supposed to have the gates closed? Because when I got there, the gates were open and the buzzer didn't work, right? And so I'm kind of like, okay, we spent all this money, we all approve it. I mean, we've talked about this for years. It took them forever to build the fence that we had talked about for years, and the button doesn't work. So, I mean, and again, not to point the finger, but these are the things that we do. We propose, we fund, and then you go there and the door doesn't work, so the gate's kind of open. So those are things that I think we need to address, and not picking on CV High School, I just happen to go there, but I go to the other schools as well. They leave the back gates open at Desert Mirage sometimes. So these are things that we have policies that we do and really need to be kind of enforced in some ways. And again, the big thing with the students was really the communication, that they get miscommunications from different people. There were things that they said that were told to them. They're not accurate. We corrected them and said, no, this is what the board has done or are in the process of doing. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. We were told something different. So I think we can all use a little work on our communications, which to them seemed to be, and our board member Lynette was one of those people who really talked about communication. She was very adamant about, she went through the program in the summer, the Coachella Promise program, so she kind of got a whole new view of how some things work, and she says, yes, we just don't communicate well. So I think that's something that we all need to maybe start looking at and try to do a better job of, that everybody understands what they're supposed to be doing. Because again, I mentioned that we passed board policy, and they're like, well, we didn't know, nobody said you guys did that. But that's something I hope that we can look forward to doing a better job in this year. And that concludes my report. Dr. Esparza?
Good evening, everyone in the audience and everyone at home who is watching. I'd like to thank all of the teachers and classified staff that attended the trainings on Pupil Free Day, October 2nd. I know that that was a day for us to have instructional training as well as safety and security training. So thank you for everyone who attended that training. I'd also like to recognize CV High School and Desert Mirage High School for that great date bowl. That was my first date bowl. It was a great game. CV really plays strong when it comes down to football, and Desert Mirage really does a great job, and especially their band and their band conductors. They are amazing. You have to hear them. They are not like a regular band. They are actually like a professional marching band, and they've done a great job there. I'd like to thank our interim facilities director for getting the shade structures completed throughout the district at our schools, as well as our fields redone and on their way. I know Cesar Chavez is still waiting for several plants and trees to be planted, but we're almost at 100% completion, so thank you for that, Leti Torres. I'd like to thank the community of Oasis, Las Palmitas, Toro Canyon, and Desert Mirage for everyone who attended the Listen and Learn tour last week. It really helped us to understand some of the needs in the community, some of the needs in the district that we need to push and push out into that community, the supports that are needed, as well as, making sure that we are informing parents of everything that is going on. There are some parents who want more transparency, who want to know more. A lot of the items that came out to the surface were transportation, also facilities, and so we took care of that, and security and safety. And so these are some of the main topics that our communities are concerned about, and so we're going out there reassuring them that we're working on this, that we're hearing them, and that we are going to continue to be transparent with them. I'd like to thank the teachers and the classified staff at Las Palmitas. Yesterday, I had my Listen and Learn tour there, and they had a lot to say about some of the needs that they have at that school. And so several of the directors attended the Listen and Learn tour, and I know from now on, when I go to schools and we are going to participate in a Listen and Learn tour with our classified and our certificated staff, that all of them need to go, because every single one of their departments touches the classroom. And so there are several needs that our teachers have requested, as well as our administrative staff. And so it'll be a full team going to the Listen and Learn tours from here on out. So thank you, Las Palmitas teachers and classified staff, for your feedback. Again, the RCOE CVUSD panel was great. Students had a lot to say, but there was one student who said he's on the marching band and that there's a lot of talk about them not having instruments. CV High School does have instruments. CV High School was broken into and several instruments were stolen, but they do have instruments. And we do know that we have finally received, and thank you to RISC, our insurance check to make sure that those items that were stolen, that we can purchase new items now. I just want to make sure that everyone who wants to give to CVUSD or to CV High School and earmark it for their band, to please do that through communication with the principal or through the superintendent's office. We are asking that people not make GoFundMe accounts or have fundraisers without getting the authorization from the school district before doing that. We would like to be a part of that, and we want to make sure that the money is earmarked for our students and what it is that they need for the band. And that is all that I have. Thank you.
All right, moving on, item 8.1. Dr. Esparza, approval of board resolution number 2025-14, Indigenous Peoples Day at CVUSD. Now, I recall a while back, the board had changed the establishment of Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day.
President, before we go on, I think it'd probably be appropriate at this time to wish Dr. Esparza a happy birthday. It is her birthday today.
I was going to wait till the end, but go ahead.
Oh, you were going to wait till the end? Okay, we're going to
ahead.
wait till the end. But
Go
happy
ahead.
birthday, Dr. Esparza. No.
All right. All right.
I know.
Yeah.
It is now.
So we did put a resolution together, and it's lengthy, but I did want to read at least the last resolve, and it says, resolved that the School Board of Coachella Valley Unified School District retroactively and proactively recognizes the second Monday of October as Indigenous Peoples' Day, and that resolved the School Board of Coachella Valley Unified School District, unless and until it expresses a contrary position, ceases to recognize the second Monday in October as Columbus Day, and resolved that the School Board of Coachella Valley Unified shall, unless and until it expresses a contrary position, continue to recognize the second Monday in October as Indigenous Peoples' Day, and resolved that the School Board of Coachella Valley Unified encourages the student government participants to also acknowledge all members of the indigenous communities and the contributions that they have made to all communities around the world. And then finally resolved that the School Board of Coachella Valley Unified School District encourages its members, the other members of the community, to educate themselves regarding the systematic oppression and continued struggles of indigenous and First Peoples around the world. So I don't know if anybody else wanted to speak on this a little bit. I did want to say something else, but before we vote on this.
Yeah, I think, I find it, I was just we were talking before we came back into session openly about other stuff, but it is ironic that it's 2024 and we still have failed to recognize as part of our history, right, in this country, the contributions of the Native American community, understanding, you hear the rhetoric of, people don't realize that we do live in California and Arizona and Nuevo Mexico. This at one time was part of Mexico in pre-1855. And I think it's just important, this is an opportunity to really set a tone of how important it is to understand who we are as an American society and understand that people didn't just show up here, and we can no longer go ignored. And then when you understand the story of Christopher Columbus and the genocide and what he was responsible for, the way we've ignored it and embraced it and celebrated it is absolutely criminal. And having this opportunity to take that day that we already recognize in a different light, in a serious light of respect for the Native American community. And I think what an opportunity, and I think it's a big statement by this board to support such a policy.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I really appreciate this, having this item on the agenda. We have a very diverse student population, not just, we have a lot of immigrant, indigenous communities within our district, so I really appreciate, recognizing. I think it'll be a great kind of opportunity, lesson opportunity, right, to ensure that we are valuing, our students feel valued for their background and where they come from. And I think, I see a lot of, at least at the college level, we do a lot of line acknowledgements. So I think that there's an opportunity there as well. But I think for me, first and foremost, is just really doing something that is really authentic and really does elevate and empower our students for their identity. I was just going to say that I would challenge this board to go a step further with land acknowledgement, because we certainly should be aware, and our students should be aware of where we are in the Coachella Valley and the tribes that still exist, right? So, yeah, this is excellent. And one step further, land acknowledgements would be excellent for our students to understand.
I just wanted to, kind of along the same lines, acknowledge that while we have a large Native American base in the Coachella Valley in our school district, we also have a large indigenous population that's immigrating from other areas of the world, coming to ours. So this is an acknowledgement of all indigenous kind of groups, as well as the Native Americans. And I think it's also fitting that I believe for the first time, well, I think board members who have Native American backgrounds, myself included, that we are going to have the first, I would say, official Native American tribal chairman going to be coming on this board in December. So we'd like to welcome him, and I think he'll probably have a lot of ideas, as we've talked to him in the past, someone I've worked with because of my work with the tribe that I work at. So I think it's going to be very valuable and kind of moving forward to some of the things that you talked about, we've all talked about, to be able to have a little more historical thing. So I think it's a great thing. Diversity is a great thing. And again, he's from our neighborhood, so to speak. We're from his neighborhood, if you want to do it properly. And many of the people there, and for those who forget, back in the day when there was only one high school, we grew up with many of the Native American kids. We all grew up with their families, all of us together. So I look forward to that coming in December when he's going to join the board. So with that, I will ask for a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second? She beat you there. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all. Item 8.2, Dr. Esparza, adopt board resolution number 2025 dash 13 to I would say this wrong, to remunerate trustee Celia Paz for an absence.
I motion.
Do I have a motion? Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All those abstain?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0-1. Item 9.1, Ms. Pantoni, requesting approval to adopt board resolution number 2025-11, sufficiency of instructional materials compliance for fiscal year 2024-25, and the certification of provisions of standards aligned instructional materials. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 9.2, Principal Alvarez requesting approval of purchase with Renaissance for My On Reader School License for Peter Pendleton Elementary School. Do I hear a motion?
I have a question before we act.
Sure.
Is this, Dr. Sparso, maybe you can answer, is this a program that we're using in other elementary schools?
So this is a program that has been used in the district, and this has been a grant that 2 of our elementary schools have received through our COE.
Okay, wonderful. I'll motion. Was there a motion?
Yes, no, I'm sorry.
I'll motion.
Motion, can I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 5-0. Item 10.1, Assistant Superintendent, dang it. Salcedo, approval of Resolution 2024-15, Annual Declaration of Administrative Authority to process routine budget revisions, adjustments, and transfers for the 2024-2025 fiscal year.
I motion.
A motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 10.2, Director Everson, approval of purchase camera systems for the Transportation Department buses. I have a question on this, but you have a motion?
If you're asking for a motion, I'll motion to accept staff's recommendation recognizing your question.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. So my question, I guess, is, we've always had cameras in the buses, so why don't we have cameras in the buses now? We've seen some of the videos that has happened before. I mean, is this one of those things that suddenly they all disappeared? But, I mean, I know some of our fleet has had them before because we've seen some of the videos of things that have happened on the buses before. So I'm wondering why all of a sudden we have to put them all back in. When did we lose them, I guess is my best question. When did they take them out? Or did they break and we just never replaced them? So that's kind of my question. I support that we have them, obviously. I think it's a good thing for everybody. It's a security thing. But I'm just wondering, I know we've had them in the past. I've seen videos, so what happened?
So part of it is on the new buses and replacements of them. So some of them do have them, but they don't work. And some of the new buses didn't have them for whatever reason they weren't installed, but most of them are not working properly, so we're trying to get them on all buses to make sure that we have them.
Okay, I mean, I would assume that when we get new buses, that would be standard equipment that would just be on them. I mean, we put all the other things on there, we put the little, signs and the flashies and all the stuff that we have to do, but again, the old ones that are not working, okay, fine, we're gonna replace them, but I think that's my concern, is that there seems to be like a void somewhere that I wasn't aware of. Anyway, I'll speak on that.
President Acuña, just before you do, Dr. Francis, I was excited to support this, believing that it may be the new buses that needed the same type of equipment. I know recently we signed up for our tracking software, so we understand where buses are at. And I want to believe that we're gonna put in the hardware in the buses so that we can better track in case of an emergency where any of our vehicles are at, right? And so I'm assuming that, Mr. Emerson, I'm assuming that this is a move in that direction, that we're gonna put in new hardware to run the software. We're gonna put in camera equipment so that we're able to document, things that may happen. And that was the spirit of my support for this. But it's a very interesting question that you're asking, Mr. Acuña. Justin, I think you may have wanted to add.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask what's our plan in terms of maintenance? So are we going to be checking, quarterly, biannually, like that they're still working? Are we going to be fixing them? Do we have a plan?
One of the things that we've always talked about is whenever we have a new agreement, is that is built into it. So I'm sure Mr. Everson already has it scheduled to make sure that that's what we're doing. But the maintenance should be happening, and to make sure that it doesn't happen where we have buses, for whatever reason, they don't work, that we replace them right away, so.
Do staff report just when they're not working, or what's the expectation?
Yes, it should.
Yeah.
There should be a new.
Where is he?
Internal.
Israel, did you want to say something? I'm sorry, Mr. Director, did you want to say something on this?
So,
Again, I think it's a good thing. I'm just,
Yeah.
we always I kind of always assume when they broke, you fix them, or you just kind of keep moving forward, and then that the new ones don't come with them automatically, kind of. So that was my concern, obviously. I think we all support this.
President Bus, just that famous phrase of internal controls, right?
Yeah, okay.
and so I'm asking Israel to come up. I know that Steve and Israel have been working together because a lot of the, components, contraptions they have to be, Wi-Fi has to be used in order for it to stay alive. But there are some things that are hardwired. And so some of those hardwired items are, not that they've expired, but I think he'll be able to explain a little better what's happened.
Yeah, so as part of the maintenance, we need to make sure that all the connectors are attached properly to all the different components, so they're all functioning properly. This week, we had a situation where we had to assist our transportation department, and we discovered that the lack of footage was related to misconnections that were taking place. So we're recommending, we're going to be working closely with the transportation department to make sure all those components are maintained and that we reconnect everything to work properly.
I just keep in mind, Israel, I know when we did this 8 years ago, 7 years ago, it didn't go very well. I think we get an opportunity to do it right this time.
For sure.
And just stay on it, right? Make sure that we're taking advantage of those service accounts that we pay for, right? As warranty, if something's not working, that we're able to get our hands around it. And maybe there's got to be some, not only maintenance, but there has to be reporting, right? That whole internal control, we got to just know, we got to put our best foot forward to make sure that we're doing this right this time. I call the question, Mr. Acuna.
Good. Anybody else have anything?
I have a comment, and mostly just related to the language under the analysis. On the first bullet, I would have loved to seen the language about improving safety, because it's not just, if all we're looking for is bullying, vandalism, and conflicts, that's all we're going to find.
Right.
But we've heard from parents about the importance of having cameras to ensure that our students, particularly those who are vulnerable, may not be speaking for whatever reason, right, that they are safe. And I know that is an intent, but again, when the analysis only says that it's going to address issues of bullying, vandalism, and conflicts, like, I don't want us to forget of the other component.
Absolutely.
Question of security.
And then I know it's not on this one, but we have a whole other white fleet that we transport students in.
Yeah.
Our people as well.
Yeah,
And
that's a
I know
new
some of
challenge.
them are piled up somewhere, and we need to get rid of some of them, or however we need to start doing that. I know we're buying some other ones as well, but let's not forget that those are used in a lot of circumstances when we're transporting different types of the buses, the white fleet buses that we take some of our athletics to, or other programs that are smaller. So let's not forget them as well. I know it's not on this one, but there is a whole other separate one that we probably should address and make sure that what happened here doesn't happen over there. So, all right, call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We're still 5-0.
Was there a second on that one? Because there was a, did you second it? Oh,
Yes, she seconded, yeah. She's taking over for Thinity right now. Item 11.1, Assistant Superintendent Makowitz, approval of revised job description for Director of Early Learners.
I motion.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I have a potential maybe clarification or amendment, because when I reviewed this, the one thing that popped out was the corrections, or the changes, which was that red under number 3B. And when I'm reading it, it seems to me that instead of or, maybe should be and, right? Like California Administrative Credential and possession of California Child Development Program, because I don't think that everyone who has an administrative credential would necessarily have a focus on child development, and one does not replace the other. So that would be my recommendation, that if we are interested in having someone with a child development program, that it's a both. But
Do you want to address?
The reason why we put or is if you go to the California Teaching Credential it listed as an or. The first one that they prefer is the child permit. The second one is or you could do the admin, and then there's a third where there's a teaching credential and a focus in home economics. So if you go to the California Teaching Credential site, it's an or. So I made it to reflect that, to have the choice between the admin or.
But is there a preferred? I mean,
The
for us,
first
the
one that
teaching
they prefer-
credential can, no, for us, I mean, what are we looking for in terms of the qualifications for a staff for our program?
Based on surrounding districts and based on my history, you want someone that is very well-versed in early childhood development. That is not always the case with an administrative credential, and I believe that's why CTC puts that one as first, as having the early childhood focus, and then the admin as second, and then the third one is the multi-subject with the home economics background.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but my only question is, can we do an and if we want to?
Yes.
And or.
You could put an and or.
No.
There's some that if you take a look at most early childhood, they don't have the admin, they have the early childhood. There are some that have both, but the ones that really focus on their whole career on early childhood, if you take a look at the CTC, it starts from, there's different levels of credentialing going from all the way from the teacher, the child development program and the teacher, then it goes to a supervisor, and then works all the way up to the director position. Most districts don't have a coordinator of early childhood unless the program is so massive, where you're talking like an overall enrollment of a double of what we have. But they do have the directorship because when you're signing documents, it's not just the program itself, it's just the nuts and bolts of the program too, with all the licensing that goes on.
And so-
It's a suggestion, it's just something to consider.
And so the title is Early Program Director, Early Education Program Director Certification. So it's a certification.
So I think what maybe this conversation is getting to is that across the board and the conversations that you've missed is when we're seeing position descriptions for directors, it seems to be inconsistent, right? Like, okay, so we want an administrative credential for this, but not for that, or we want a bachelor's for this one, but the other one can be an AA, or we want, so it's very difficult for us to say what is the standard and the expectation when we're looking at directors. And in your description of the duties, it seems to me that we would benefit from someone who has the administrative credential, but not at the expense of not having the other one, or like the other one should be priority, but having someone with an admin credential would be beneficial if they're supervising, if they're doing other things rather than running the program. So that's why I was thinking and versus an or.
I'm willing to amend my motion.
I was just going to say, if you would make a second, but add the amendment
Yeah,
to it. and you
I'll
second.
accept your friendly amendment into my motion, Mr. Acuna.
And
Call the question.
You would second the motion?
I will second the motion amending 3B to read California Administrative Credential and Possession of.
You just read my motion, you second that?
Oh, yes, I think that's what I said. No, I second with the amendment. that I just- yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? None? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 12, do my little speech here. Consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be routine and will be acted upon in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the board considers the motion, unless members of the board or staff request specific items to be discussed and/or removed from the consent calendar, in which event the items will be considered separately. The superintendent, assistant superintendent of educational services, business and finance, and Human Resources recommend the approval of all consent calendar items. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve the consent calendar, President Acuna, respecting anybody wanting to pull an item.
All right, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Anyone want to pull stuff? I already know. Yeah, I know what you-
16.1.
Yeah.
16.1.
Okay, anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
So this isn't the first time that we've been told that we're not doing the HR, the openings correctly. I know you're new to this position, but this is something that we've done in the past. If this is something that's contractual, let's just follow whatever we need to fill positions. That's all.
Okay. So, but you pulled the whole item and those were 16.1.
16,
but
it's within the document.
Oh, 16.1, okay.
So it's 18 pages, and within it, there are issues. The whole
Yeah,
thing.
from the 18 page, I guess I'm confused reading the numbers. So if you can clarify. 16.1, it's the whole report.
So if we vote for it, then all of that is ratified. And I
So
want to vote.
But are you pulling one specific from there, I guess?
No. I pulled it so that we could discuss it, because otherwise we wouldn't discuss it.
Yeah.
It'd just be,
Well, I mean, if you want to discuss those items that were brought up earlier, which is, I'm assuming what you're talking about.
Yes.
Would be
Then you would have
16.16
asked
to
to
18.
pull that part,
Yeah.
whatever it is, items 8 through whatever they were.
It
So
was
you only wanna-
16.8 and then 16 to 18.
16 to, yes,
The items that were mentioned earlier.
yes.
I'm asking you.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah,
No,
that's a
I'm
clarification I needed because when you pulled the whole thing, there's a lot of other things there.
Yes.
So, okay.
So we need
got
you
it.
to ask to pull part whatever sections like we have done in the past. Otherwise, we're not voting on the whole thing.
On any, yeah,
Just want to make sure what you want to do. I don't know what you
Well,
want to
you
do.
can vote on it, I just want to vote dissenting, so.
On the whole
On
thing?
the whole
huh?
thing.
Because there's a 16.7, a 16.6, a 16.5.
Within the document.
Yeah, within the
Just want to
document.
vote the whole document. All right, that's fine.
Wait, so could we get, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I want to pull out then, from that whole document that you pulled out, I want to only pull out the ones concerning the hiring practices, which was 16.8 and 16 through 18. Those are the ones that I'm interested in.
Is like part.
16,
Well, there's only 4 of us, so we're going to have to agree or it's
I
not
know.
going to move
It's
anyway,
like
so
part
it doesn't really matter.
7, part 7?
Part 8, so providing services attending district-sponsored professional development and letters, so that's number 8 within 16. And then there is
16 through 18.
16, 17, and 18, which are providing services assisting with instructional services. So these are the hiring and the positions that you're referring about not being. So those are the ones I'm interested in, separating from the whole thing.
Is that a motion?
So can you make a motion
that
to
is a
separate
motion.
all of those? And since
Yes.
you pulled it, are you
Oh,
agreeable to that?
Yes, I'm agreeable to.
Okay.
So I have a motion to separate the full report with those items. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to pull them out. So first we have to pull them out. What do you want to do with them? Table them?
Table them till next meeting.
Okay,
Well,
so
yeah.
just asking what they want to do.
Yeah, I will second the continuation of these items so that we can get the information and clarification that is needed.
Okay, so let's go back, try to get it all straight. I have a motion to separate the pulling of the full report with those items 8, 16, 17, and 18. Correct. I have a motion and a second. So, and to table them,
For next meeting.
right? To table them and grab back whenever people are happy. Right?
Yep.
Just getting that straight.
And I
Okay.
just want to make a comment to that because this is not the first time, and again, going back to, and questions that I've asked in the past, particularly for the 16 through 18, it seems to be that there is sort of a select group of individuals that are always, and I don't know if there's a process for interviewing, for selecting, who selects, how it is, so that whole thing. And I think I've brought it up to previous HR people, but yeah.
Okay, so we know what we're voting on. The first one is to table just those items.
Yes.
So I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Now, I need a motion to approve the rest of the report. Can I hear a motion?
I so move.
I have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the rest of the report. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, cool. That was fun. Anybody have anything else? Also, I was going to save it till the end. Happy birthday, Dr. Esparza.
Happy birthday.
I'm going to try to get you out here early, so motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion, we're here second. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. We are out at, not too bad.
9:22.
Roll that.